Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sprint 269 review. This was a normal 2-week sprint. Let's get started. I'll start with the overview, Gilbert on the UI, Adam on providers, and Joe on the platform. This sprint, we had 170 PRs merged. A lot of this was blasting out changes to all the repos in preparation uh, for the merge of master into Spassky, so we can have another beta release of Spassky. And actual closed PRs by label, we have 13 in test, 10 in enhancement, 9 bugs, so a good even pass. And over to Gilbert on the UI.
Thanks, Jason. So for the UI, we had some bug fixes. I fixed the task page bugs, the import form errors, the settings op schedule toolbar, which was later reverted due to errors in our Cypress tests, and also the built-in method summary screen. Some other pairs we had. Jason used the count directly to avoid the two notification calls per page. I removed some CodeMirror technical debt, and we had a community remove unused method PR that was merged. For dependencies, Elsa updated Jest and Cypress packages to resolve form data security issue, and the MIQ bot updated TMP from 023 to 024. Next page. And then for tests, we had a bunch of Cypress pairs that were merged. So Asavad did edit collect logs from Cypress Refactor, fix toolbar to throw error on wrong option, scope accordion item search expand panel only, add custom commands for selecting form elements. He also updated the README for the method level docs for expect alert commands and included the accordion name in the error message. Another README PR for the toolbar Cypress command. Um, I believe Joe did the no longer needed since core won't enable rack attack with Cypress equal true. Asavad had follow up works from 9516 as a more Cypress PR. He also added the intercept API command and moved flash message type object to a common concept file for reuse, and finally enhance expect alert command. Next slide. So going over some of the UI bugs, so the task form bug, I did this fix to allow the user to have more clarity as to what's actually happening on the task page. When you click delete task, you now get a little pop-up that shows that the task has been queued for deletion because previously no message would show up and the task wouldn't be instantly deleted anyways. Next page. The import form errors. So on the dev server, when loading up this page, you get a bunch of errors and warnings that show up in the notifications. I did some JS fixes to basically prevent these errors from happening. Next slide. And finally, the fixed built-in method summary screen. Previously, the built-in method name was just being displayed as a random line of text. It wasn't really clear what that line is for. So I enhanced this page to add in a better view of the summary screen to show the built-in name for that method. That's it for the UI. Next is Adam.
Thanks, Gilbert. This sprint, we got a couple of updates for AWS instance types and database types. No new regions this time, but a couple of updates there. For Power VS, Jay replaced an older systems pool API with a newer data centers API so that we can get better information about some of the inventory there. For Nutanix, we're now collecting folders and data centers so that we can start to populate the default VM provision dialog dropdowns. We are also starting to link up hosts to data stores so that when you pick a target data store, it'll make sure that you're picking on the right host. And we are also parsing template hardware, CPU, and memory also in preparation for provisioning. Next slide. A lot of work on flow. So we are now allowing you to reference credentials from parameters instead of only in the credentials payload that would get passed to your task resource. This allows you to build up, for example, headers or body if you wanted to log in some of the parameters you could use credentials for that. Jason fixed interpolation of nested hashes. So we had a requirement to do have your hash key end in $. If you wanted anything in the hash to be interpolated. We went back to the ASL spec and determined that was the wrong behavior. So he fixed that up. So we always interpolate hashes without having to declare the key for that. We also fixed passing credentials via the CLI. It was always being cleared out. So even if you passed it on the command line, you would always get an empty credentials hash. So we got that fixed up. And finally, we added a built-in runner and a flow HTTP built-in method so that you can execute HTTP methods via flow without having to write your own Docker image to do that. So there are some good examples in the examples folder, and the README has the documentation for all of the parameters. And that's it for providers. Over to Joe.
Thanks, Adam. For platform enhancements this sprint, Keenan upgraded at Orbi, which enabled him to remove the as duration monkey patch. The bot generated updated English strings for translation. Brandon updated pods to the latest operator SDK. Jason made several improvements to the deploy KubeVirt VM script, which is used for installing appliances into Kubernetes. Jason opened PRs across several repos to simplify merges from master back into release branches. I updated the schema dummy repos application to Rails 7.2, removing support for 7.0 and 7.1. Jason moved the at Orbi monkey patch initializer to the appropriate lib extensions directory. And I reorganized the rack attack configuration to centralize the conditional logic, which allowed us to disable rack attack in Cypress test. Next slide. For platform bugs this sprint, Jason updated the locale update all translation rake task to now ignore changes where the only changes are in dates. Next, Keenan updated the Rufus scheduler to address the CVE. I upgraded jQuery RJS to fix a Rails 7.2 deprecation. Jason fixed that locale update all rake task to fail properly if a sub-process fails instead of silently continuing on. And Jason fixed the test for Rails 7.2.2.2 by using a regex instead of relying on a previous Rails version's string quoting behavior. Next slide.
And that's all for our Sprint 269 review. The next Sprint review 270 will be on September 3rd at the usual place and time. And I'd like to thank all the presenters today and all the contributors in the ManageIQ community. Thanks, everyone.